Hey guys, it's Nicole. Welcome back to Chronicles of a Crafter. So I know Father's Day is coming up and I have a couple of male birthdays that are coming up in June. So I wanted to make something that can be super versatile, just masculine, just a masculine anything, right? So what I was thinking was, okay, so Father's Day is in mid-June. I have a couple of uncles whose birthdays are in June, so I need to make something that a man would appreciate, or it's just like, you know, beefy and tough and leathery maybe. I don't know, but I just wanted to make something that just kind of like just shows that, you know, there's a masculine touch to this project. Okay, even if it's a card, you can turn anything that you may be working on from a feminine, like dainty card into a very masculine card simply by adding one element. Okay, I know this doesn't say much, but burlap. All right, I'm in the process of making a burlap junk journal, and it's simply some 6x6 paper that I picked up. Let's see, this is DW. I want to say this is from Joann's, and it's just some 6x6 paper that is glued onto some burlap. All right, so it's paper on one side, burlap on the other. It's very rough and tough on your hands, but I think a man would really appreciate that. So what I did was I took an 8.5 by 11 sheet of brown cardstock. I folded it in half. All right, so let's just go through it. Okay, here we go. All right, 8.5 by 11, that's what this measures. Okay, 11 inches this way, 8.5 that way, and all I did was folded it in half this way. Okay, and then I grabbed my scoreboard and I put a couple of score marks into this journal. All right, so this will be my back cover, front cover type of thing. So 4 1/4 would be half. So I'm going to score at 4, and I'm going to score at 4.5. Okay, and that will give me a little spine right here. I'm just going to bone fold everything down so it's nice and flat and even. Okay, so at this point you have yourself a little book that looks like this, right? So that's so far, like it's just that easy. Okay, so that's what I have here. So now I have myself this little book right here. Okay, so that's what this is, and then what you want to do is open everything up and then just run beads of glue all through here just to glue everything together. Okay, fold it back over, and then you have yourself a front cover and a back cover. What I will do at that point is I will add my burlap paper to the front side here, right? Cut away the excess, and then add a piece to the back side here and cut away the excess. But for this one I want to do something decorative on the spine, so after I've added my burlap, I will then add some of this burlap ribbon to the spine right here to cover up the edges of the burlap. All right, so there's that. Let's go ahead and do just that. I'm going to glue up my inside of this little book. Okay, so I'm just going to use some Scotch Create glue stick for now. And you don't need a whole lot because this will adhere to itself. So I'm just adding a little bit of Scotch Create glue stick right through the middle here, and then on the edges I will add some, let's do Fabrifix, because I think my Fabrifix wants to play today. I tried it earlier and it was ready to go. So yeah, let's do some Fabrifix. I'm just going to do some across the edges, in the corners, down the side, in the corners, across the bottom, making sure I get the corners, up the sides, and back to the beginning. Okay, and then I'll do a little bit across this spine section right here. I'm sorry for my TV is so loud. It was not this loud all along. So yeah, I might have to go turn that off or down or something. I don't know what movie that is, but it's definitely very, very loud at the moment. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna give this 2 seconds to dry, just so that everything gets used to living where it's gonna be forever and ever. And then give my spine a little push back into place where it should be. Let me go turn my TV off. I'll be back in 2 ticks. Alright, so I've wrapped my book in burlap, turned my television down, and I'm just going to cut away the excess of burlap paper that's surrounding the book. And I'm just going to cut like directly on that line around the book, just so that I can only have just the burlap as my cover. So this book right here measures, I want to say 4 by 6. Yep, 4 by 6. Once you fold that paper in half, and then give yourself a 1/2 inch spine right through here. Sorry, I was concentrating on cutting that. So yeah, I think it's about a 1/2 inch spine. You fold your book in half, and yeah, you'll have a 4 by 6 little book. So yeah, I'm just gonna cut off the excess burlap paper that's around the edges here. And then I have a nice sturdy front and back cover. That burlap paper, I want to say, see, it's hard to tell because most of it is ripped off on the on this little front page right here. Like the majority of it is ripped off. But I don't want to say I paid more than, you know, $8 for this pack of burlap paper, and there's probably about 20 pages. There's 17 sheets left. All right, so yeah, I pulled away 3 Craftalange. I pulled away 3 sheets for this, one for the front, one for the back, and then I did this little mini book right here that I'm going to fold in half. So this is just a 6 by 6 cardstock, which I just happen to have on my desk, right? It was just sitting on my desk. I just folded it in half and then folded it in half again, all right? And then we're gonna make this cute little mini notepad, let's say, for the back of the book. I'm gonna place this like right back here, and a little gusseted belly band, all right? So here's my front, here's the back. All right, and then all I'm going to do is first I'm going to find my paper that I wanted to stitch in here. I'm going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch because I did give myself a 1/2 inch spine, so there's plenty of room to stitch in a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. If you gave yourself less than a 1/2 inch, I would suggest taking it to your sewing machine and then just stitching it straight down the middle here. But okay, so here is my coffee dyed paper. This is just some standard lined coffee dyed paper. Some of it is one-sided or single-sided, some of it is double-sided. So yeah, I'm just going to stitch in with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Let's just do 12 sheets. All right, and with these 12 sheets, you multiply that by 4, so you got yourself 48 pieces of paper to write on, and yeah, that fits in there perfectly. All right, so I am just going to cut this at about 5 3/4 of an inch, or let's say 5 1/2. All right, because this is 6 inches, we want to give ourselves a little bit of room at the top, a little bit of room at the bottom. So I'll cut it right at 5 1/2 inches or so, and then we can fit this into our junk journal. So I've measured it with that little mark. I just want to double check. It's just under 5 1/2, so I'll bump it up just a little bit. okay? And we'll cut it like right here. I'm going to use my craft knife if I can find one. I don't like using this one, but it's all I can find at the moment. Not that I don't like using this Fiskars craft knife, but I prefer the beefy one, the big yellow chunky craft knife. It's not really a craft knife, but more like a box cutter. But this is definitely a craft knife, and sometimes it slips. So, but yeah, I think I got it. All right, so there's that. I'll set this aside. This is going to make enough papers, or maybe half of this will make enough pages for my little mini notebook that I'm going to tuck into the back of the journal. And then what I want to do is get my pages nice and flush in the corners here. So I'm just going to whack it with my metal ruler, get it nice and tight to the corner, and then I am going to cut away the excess on this side. All right, so yeah guys, this is just a little rendition of what you can do to make yourself something that's normally feminine, like a journal, into something masculine. All right, and the decorations is the key. So whatever ephemera that you want to make, that's going to determine you know, its gender, so to speak. Not that anything needs genders nowadays. I don't think there's a gender for anything. Everything is just neutral. You can make things just neutral. But for your traditional, like Father's Day cards and such, like, I think that you can probably make it a little bit more masculine just by adding some burlap to your project. Okay, so here we go. Here's this. This will fit in here nicely, but no, I need to cut away some more. Look at that. All right, so I will do that just by inching back a little bit, and we'll just continue scoring it with our little craft knife here. So yeah guys, I hope you guys are having a crafty day. I hope y'all are doing fun things in your crafting spaces, because you know, what else is there to do? Craft rooms are all the rave nowadays. I've spoken to several ladies lately who have told me that they are building the craft room of their dreams. Like their dream craft room. So I'm excited. I'm excited that crafting is a thing, and that you guys are you know, really taking to your space, creating space for yourself, and for whatever it is that you guys do in the crafting world, whether it's card making or junk journals or what have you. I'm just glad that crafting is a thing. So here I have my little book. I'm just gonna clip these pages together right where they are, and I'm going to use my Crop-A-Dile to create the holes for my 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Now it really doesn't matter the size of the holes here, because I'm going to cover the spine with this little piece of like burlap ribbon, so it's going to be a hidden spine. All right, let me just grab my Crop-A-Dile. I'm going to use the big boy, this big guy right here. I'm going to use the 1/8 of an inch setting, and I'm just going to chomp in here 3 holes directly on the spine. No real measurements required, just anywhere along the spine will do, and then we have that, right? So from there, I'm just going to grab some let's do some black. I want to do, well, it really doesn't matter. I can do black or brown. Either one would be fine for this type of book. So, okay, I'm going to use brown. Let's use brown. 3 times the height. 1, 2, 3. 3 times the height and a little bit more for your bow. And I'm just going to grab any one of my darning needles that I think will fit through these holes. Ooh, that one's tight. Okay, yep, works. And I'm going to thread it. This is a big one. This is a huge needle. All right, I'm going to start in the middle, go through to the back. I'm going to clip this section right here onto this last pin, this little pin right there to keep it in place. Then I'm going to go up to the top, come through all the way, go down to the bottom, go through all the way, and then go back in through the center. Okay, and so I've clipped this in place so it doesn't pull all the way through. I'm going to tuck this underneath this little bridge right here, unclip my little string, and then I'm going to straighten everything up and get it nice and centered. Okay, so that's pretty even. All right, just a little bit to snip away there. And I got one on one side of the bridge, this one on the other side of the bridge. See that bridge right there? Okay, pull it tight but not tearing, and tie myself a little lock knot so it's right over left and then left over right, and then I tie a little bow just like so, and there we have ourselves a little 3-hole pamphlet stitch in the center of a junk journal. So again, this is just some plain coffee dyed paper that it's just like, it's notepad paper that I coffee dyed. So buy yourself a white notepad, take it to your kitchen and coffee dye it with just some regular old instant coffee. Soak it in water and coffee, and then stick it in the oven, and it'll be nice and toasty when you're done and you have yourself coffee dyed paper. Okay, so there's that. So now I have my exterior 3-hole pamphlet stitch here. I'm just going to cover it all up with a little bit of Fabrifix. So I'm going to go from side to side with some Fabrifix glue just to cover up my crooked 3-hole pamphlet stitch. That's not straight at all. Like I didn't even try to get it straight. All right, so I'm just going to cover this up with Fabrifix. So from one side to the other, get plenty of glue on there. I'm going to put down this little burlap ribbon right over the edge of it overlaps both the front side and the back, and I'm just gonna hold this in place for just a couple seconds and add a couple clips to either side of the book, front and back. Okay, so that'll sit right there and dry. In the meantime, I can work on my little mini notebook, this guy. So here's my little notebook. It has burlap paper on the outside cover. So what I want to do with this, I want to make like a little notepad that goes this way. So I'm going to turn my page. Let's move this one and this one. Okay. I'm going to turn my paper this way so that, yeah, this will work. All right, so I'm just going to turn my paper to this angle. I'm going to fit it into the book and then cut away the excess. So I'm just going to place this on the edge here. I put my metal ruler there so that I have a guide. I don't cut my book or my fingers. Okay, so there's that side, And I'm going to shimmy my little notebook inside the middle there. Flip it over and do the same thing to the opposite side. Okay. Okay, alright, so there's that. So for this one, you can do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch if you like, if you're daring. Alright, so let me grab my crocodile again, and I will do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch through here. The staples just aren't deep enough to go through the burlap in these pages. So alright, so I ended up doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch in the center here of this notepad. Again, I'm just doing a little lock knot, and then I'll tie a little bow. This is the little notepad that I wanted to make for the back of the journal, and it's just gonna be so cute, right? So yeah, we just did a little 3-hole pamphlet stitch right there. Here is our journal. It's still drying, so let's just see what we've got. I need to cut away some of the excess here. Okay, and snip that. So here's our center of the journal. Yeah, it is still drying. It's gonna need a lot more time in this position. So I'm just going to clip it together once again in this position to hold that burlap ribbon on the outside of the book, just for a few. Like, the glue is there, it just needs some time to stay in this position. So give me 2 ticks and I'll be right back. Alright, so my cover is dried, the spine is dry. The only thing left to do, I wanted to add like a little belly band back here in the back section of the book. If you get a little glue in places that you don't want, you can just use one of these oversized erasers, and that'll just erase the glue right out of the project for you, and you won't even see it. So what I want to do is add a little belly band back here. I could have added something in burlap, but I think I'm just going to go with some cardstock, which I've added like a little tiny gusset to. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see that, but here's my little belly band. It has a little tiny gusset right there on both sides. Okay, so what I want to do is glue down this section right here, that section right there, right to the back of the back page of the book. So I think I measured it correctly. Yeah, I think so. I'm just going to use a little bit of art glitter glue to glue that down. Just got to get my tip back on there. Okay, so I'm just going to pop a little bit of art glitter glue right on this back flap, or the very last piece of the gusset, and I'm just going to pop it like right in the middle section of the back cover on both sides. And I will hold that for a few, you know, like if it's crooked, you want to give it a little push in one direction or another, now would be the time to do it, because art glitter dries pretty quickly. Okay, so while that's drying, it's in place, but it's drying. I'm just going to flip my cover forward, and I want to decorate the front cover of the book. So I'm just going to put like a little, like sort of like a little book plate on there. It looks a little bit like this, as description, and you can write whatever you like on it. It was originally like a sticker, I believe. I just ran it through my copier. And then I have this little guy right here, which was a sticker. It looks very masculine to me. Again, I ran this through my copier, made multiple copies of it, and then I can continuously use it over and over again. So I'm going to twist this on an angle to get this one straight. And let's just use art glitter. So yeah, I just copied this on my copier and then glued it down onto some cardstock. And that way, like, if you really like a piece, you don't have to use it just once. You can just copy it and then have multiples of it and use it over and over again, you know? I tend to do that a lot. And that's how I end up hoarding things, because I have so much of something. But when you find that one piece that you really like, you don't want to just use it one time and then not have any more of it. So, yeah, there lies my dilemma. All right, so I'm just going to flip this over, get the description straight, and my little decorative piece on an angle. Okay, and I'll hold that in place until it's dry. So another way you can beef up this book to make it, like, you know, very masculine is by adding these book corners on there. So you can easily pop one of these on the corner of the book and it'll beef it up and make it look really tough and sturdy and masculine. You can even do something that's pretty as that and it still looks like a really good chunky, you know, tough masculine book. So yeah, I would probably do one of these on either of the front cover, just to decorate it. It doesn't really serve any purpose whatsoever, but it does look really, really strong and dad-like, if that makes any sense. So yeah, this would be a cute little journal that you could definitely add to like a Father's Day gift, a masculine birthday gift, and then, you know, something as simple as, you know, like a strong smelling candle. Who says men don't like candles? A Tabasco flower scented candle is not Tabasco, tobacco. A tobacco flower smelling candle. It smells really good, but it sounds really masculine. You know what I mean? So yeah, this will go into like a little box with something like this. And this little notepad that we're gluing here will go into the back cover of the journal, into that belly band. And yeah, now I have myself a little masculine gift that I can give. It'll go in a box and be sent off just like this. All right guys, I will talk to you guys in the next video. Hope you guys have a super crafty day. Don't forget to check out my one link down below. That'll take you to all my other links, including my Amazon shop, my Etsy store, my Buy Me a Coffee, Instagram, etc., etc. You'll find me all on @ChroniclesOfACrafter or #ChroniclesOfACrafter, and I'll definitely talk to you guys in the next video. Stay naturally curious. Bye.